Welcome back, everyone, to the Stogie Geek Show. Jose and Luis are still here with us for this segment. We're going to talk about big cigar questions. And during the break, I actually went and got some cigars from my humidor to help us answer a couple of the questions that we have today. The first one I think we should start with, because we're kind of fascinated by the explanation as to why cigars unravel. And I think some people have this problem of after they cut their cigar, it unravels on them, whether it unravels from the head or the foot or wherever it starts. Why do cigars unravel? Luis was just inspecting a cigar that I gave him that was purposely damaged. It was given to me that way.
Ok. Tío, que le expliquen por qué el tabaco, cuando lo cortan, la capa se le va.
Porque le dan...
Te enseño, no, ahí, a ver.
Porque le dan el corte, mira la orilla, el corte parado para arriba, le untan poca pega aquí. Entonces cuando cortan aquí, suelta la capa y se queda el empuño, que tiene que ir por aquí, como en Santo Domingo, ahí con goma ahí, que puede cortarlo y no hay problema, pero que esto es parado. Si lo mochan aquí, se desnuda de una vez, porque está aquí, míralo ahí.
Sí.
Está así.
Está para arriba.
Está para arriba. Y si no tiene goma ahí, se desnuda.
Entonces, el corte es con la chaveta.
Sí.
El problema es cuando cortan con la chaveta. Okay. He tells me that what happened with this cigar in particular.
And that was a Cuban. That's a Cuban cigar.
Yeah.
And Luis did say it was a real
he told me
Cuban
it's a real
cigar.
one.
Thank you. And if there ever was a definitive source today, thank you.
and it's because of the cut. It's because, I mean, to me, to you, it's a cigar.
Right.
But to him, he noticed it right away. He says, look, it's the cut. It's a cut that's done upward.
When they are applying the wrapper, then they cut the tobacco.
No, it's when they use the chaveta. The chaveta in Spanish is the, so when this guy cuts, he's cutting upward. He's not cutting, like straight around. So the cigar, as you start rolling it from the top, they put the cap on it. I don't know how to do that. He tells me, no, I'll teach you. I says, nah, that's okay. I don't need to know how to roll cigars. But anyway, as they roll it, then they're rolling it, and it's because of that cut, it's cutting, it is rolled upward. So the way we cut in our factory, when they cut, they cut straight. So as they're rolling it, when it comes up to here, this is rolled round.
All the way around, instead of one tip being up.
Once the tip is up, you cut the top, boom, it's going to unravel. So we go round, 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 round. That's why it's called a triple crown. The triple crown, if you look at it, well, we're already smoking it. So if you look at it, you can see that it's tripled. You see 3 lines coming up because the first line is the cigar as you're finishing it, the wrapper, and then they have a little strip that they put, and then that little strip goes over there, and it overlaps, and that's where you get the triple. So you got the first one, and then you got a little piece that you put, and then you have the tip on the top.
Yeah, the cap.
The cap. So also then the cap has a line, and then that's why he says it's a triple crown.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why we do all triple crowns, so it's not going to break up. And also he says it's kind of dry.
Yeah, it was dry when they gave them to me.
And they didn't use enough glue.
Interesting.
Yeah, wild, isn't it?
That's really cool.
It's knowing, I guess,
Could you repair that cigar?
I'll ask him, but I'll tell you, he'll tell you yes. Este tabaco se puede reparar. Sí. ¿Cómo vamos a reparar esto? Recapándolo, ¿no?
Yeah. Poniéndole la capa.
Yeah. He says just re-wrap it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
and obviously wrap it the right way.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm not saying this.
That one might not have enough wrapper to re-wrap it with, because some of it's...
No, you need wrapper.
Yeah.
No, this one's gone. So you probably take this one off. Or just take it off, he says, and just roll it again, wrap it again.
I've tried to do that on my own. It's terrible.
Oh, yeah. I can't do that. I can't do that.
I don't have that skill level.
No, I can't do that.
¿De dónde son estos directos?
Where are these from? Nicaragua,
those
Dominican?
Dominican.
Son dominicanos.
Yeah.
Ese Aunque lo mochen, no se suelta eso.
He says even if you cut it on the top, it's not going to unravel.
Unravel, yes.
The Dominican.
Velo aquí, mira. Mira.
Yeah.
Velo ahí.
Sí.
Y mira, este.
Yeah.
Así
Yeah.
lo ves. Ese le podemos echar así. Nada.
Yeah. He says,
Now, the issue with
look at it.
those larger 54 ring cigars are the spots on them.
Okay.
They have spots on them. They're not sunspots. We can talk about what those are, but they have kind of like it. We need to get a
I
really
see
close
it's
up
like a
camera.
little white little spot here.
If
a
you
little spot
describe
here.
them, yeah, they're like white, poofy kind of. They have like a
Spot here.
a spongy look to them, and they're white in color. Some people will mistake it for plume, but what causes that?
Okay.
Some people say it's mold, but is it a certain kind of mold?
Okay.
What's the deal with the mold on there, or if it's mold or not?
Sí, dice que la pintica esta, ¿de dónde viene esa pintica? Que dice la gente que puede ser moho, puede ser que
El moho.
plum, ¿sí?
Moho.
¿Y de dónde viene eso?
Mojo.
Ajá,
La hoja, esta hoja,
ajá.
la mojan
Ujú.
allá para que se ponga suave.
Suave,
Ajá. Entonces después, con poco tiempo, lo meten ahí, no se ha secado bien, y echa la cosita de agua que le queda, echa ese mojo.
Que no se ha secado.
No se ha secado, echa ese mojo, la cosita de agua que le queda, porque lo metieron fresco aquí.
Got it. Yeah, he says that the wrapper, you wet the wrapper in order to put it on. You just can't put the dry. So when they wet it, and you see the guys shaking it, they don't let it dry, and they put it right away into the cellophane, and then the little specks are the little water droppings that are just creating some kind of mold because they're inside a cellophane, and there's no air, there's nothing, and it's molding. It's the same thing, let's say, in Florida. In Florida, if you're in the ocean, and in a condo, let's say, and you leave your air conditioning on, and you open up your terrace window, and that effect of the air working and the salt coming in will create mold in your apartment.
Like a condensation.
The condensation, and
condensation.
it's the same thing. Yeah,
Yep.
it's wet,
Yes.
and then they don't let it dry. Because ours, we don't even put them in cellophane until they're ready to go out. You know, they put them in bundles, just leave them there. So that's what happens. They don't let them dry. Boom, they put them. I guess they speed them up too much. You know, they just didn't give it the right time.
Now, is there a difference between that type of mold and a mineral deposit? In other words, if it's not distilled water, will that create a mineral deposit?
Okay.
And is that in fact the same? How you would describe the same thing?
Okay. Dice que si esta manchita, si esta manchita son manchas de la hoja natural o son manchas de agua, obviamente que usted dijo, pero hay manchas también de
Que
la
son
hoja.
natural,
Ajá, ¿y por qué son esas manchas?
porque eso es en el nacimiento de la hoja. Que
Yeah.
nace.
Y-
Como a
y-
uno que le salen pequitas.
Ya.
Sí.
Y el color de ellos, algunas son verdecitas, ¿verdad?
Algunas son verdes, como amarillas.
Okay.
Más frecuentes son amarillas, porque nace así de abajo, de la tierra. Pero las verdes son porque no se curó bien cuando está así.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this is the explanation. The little specks that you see that are yellow, he says it comes from the soil. The plant itself creates these yellow little specks. The green little specks that you see is because they didn't let it cure enough, as it's upside down. You know, they put them in the trojas.
Oh, is that what we call sunspots? Is that
Sunspots for the yellow ones.
okay?
The green ones are not. The green ones that the wrapper is new. They didn't let it hang enough and dry
Oh, I
enough,
see.
and
They do look very different. Now
yeah,
that you say that
yeah.
the shape of the dots.
Yeah,
is
some are
different,
green. What we do, actually, my cousin is his son. What he does is when he goes to purchase the wrapper, he would light a cigar, and he will grab the wrapper, and we have pictures of us doing it, and then they penetrate the wrapper with the cigar, and that's going to tell them if it's aged enough. And the reason why you would know, and that's him telling me, is because the wrapper burns, and then you see the burn, the carbon. If the carbon is real thick, then it's not aged. If the carbon is real thin, then it's aged. Le estaba diciendo que como nosotros, cuando compramos la capa, que le hacemos el examen con el tabaco, quemando la capa, haciéndole el hoyito. Ajá. Aquí arriba. Entonces, que usted me había dicho que si te deja una línea bien finita de carbón, de la quemada, entonces está bien, está buena. Si es muy gorda, entonces es una capa nueva.
Si la bomba está nueva.
Yeah. So,
Se hace así como que se altera. Así.
yeah, he says if it gets real thick, it blows up.
Entonces lo jode.
Oh yeah, he says that's true. He says that some wrappers, when they're new and you're smoking them, you get this jaw lock.
Yeah.
He says because the wrapper is new.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
it's wild. Because my cousin.
It's like a chemical process.
Yeah, my cousin, they gave him a cigar, and he's talking to him. He says that he got this jaw lock, and then he felt really tight in the throat. Yeah, because
I've actually had that on a few when I first lit the cigar, some of them, and I'm like, well, wait, and then you have to get like maybe like not even an inch, like through it,
Right.
and then I've actually given that in our third segment. We always do a review, and sometimes I've said, when I first lit it, it was tough to get through,
Right.
and then because you get that, like it stops you in your tracks.
Yeah, but he says after you finish smoking the cigar, you get this real, tight, like you get your throat hurts, and it's because the wrapper is not aged.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now the mold deposits that are there,
Yes.
you could wipe those off.
Okay.
Dry them or put them back in your humidor or.
Okay. ¿Cómo es?
De que uno se fuma uno nuevo con la capa nueva. Se hincha aquí y una vez que hay médico
the inyectarse. He says, yeah, if you smoke a green wrapper, he says that you swell up in your throat. And he says you gotta go get a shot. No, you gotta get a shot. You gotta get a shot because you're sick. But dice,
la capa tiene que quemar así. Si está nueva, tiene esos goidos alterados así.
Okay. He says even let's say our cigars right now. If it blows up in the front, and I had some cigars that they blow up in the front, and it's because the wrapper is new.
Too new.
Because it just expands. I guess the heat, and it's green. It's like let's say trying to burn a field that's all green. It's not going to burn.
Right.
I mean, so it expands itself. Probably because of the water that it creates, because of the burn, and then it's not green enough. So it's like, going against each other. That's very good.
So the mold deposits on there, could you wipe those off, put them back? Should you dry them out?
I'll ask him. La cosa blanca que le sale a los tabacos, eso se puede quitar y meterlo otra vez para atrás en el humidor y estamos bien con los tabacos. ¿Cómo es?
Sí,
Yes.
con vino.
Yeah, he says...
Throw out the cigar?
No. He says you can take it off. He says you can take it off, and but I'd rather explain to you. Yeah, sí. Ahora, pero se lo voy a explicar porque también no quiero que ellos crean que es ponerle vino nada más, porque tú sabes, mucho vino. Es una
poco.
cosita. Right.
Un chi.
Pero con una esponjita o es...
Una esponjita.
Okay. All right. He says you get a little sponge, some red wine.
I like it.
And very gently.
Y huele bueno.
Yeah, and it'll smell real good. Gently. Yeah, but you don't put too much because you put a lot. You put a lot. The whole wrapper is going to just get all. So he says very gently, and then you let it rest. Don't put it back in the cellophane. Let it rest. Not in your humidor either, because you're wetting it. Tiene que dejarlo afuera, pero tiene que dejarlo afuera hasta que se seque.
Así, hasta que se reseque y después ya.
Yeah, he says you just leave it and let it dry. Once it's dry, put it back in your cellophane, humidor. And some people don't even put cellophane in their humidor. They just put the whole cigar without cellophane. You could do that too.
Esa. Ya tú lo limpiaste.
Sí, yo lo limpié, pero este no. He says I cleaned it with my hands. he was looking for the white little spots.
Yeah.
Pero no. Sí,
Cuando llega,
sí.
eso le quita.
Because he just did this to it.
Yeah.
And he took it off.
And went away.
But he says that, you do it with some nice red wine. Little,
That's interesting. I had not heard of the red wine trick. I'm gonna try that.
and just leave it there, let it dry, and
now-
he says it's going to taste really awesome.
If the mold is coming out of the foot, so if you look in the foot of your cigar and you see mold coming out,
Right.
¿Qué
Okay.
dice?
no bueno,
Dice,
right?
no, bueno, yeah, I don't think so. Dice que a veces se pone blanco, pero aquí, adelante del tabaco. Que si eso es bueno, eso no sirve, ¿verdad?
No, eso se le puede quitar.
Sí.
Él le puede hacer así.
Yeah, he says you could dab the front too. Yeah.
No, eso no. Pero fumárselo con eso, no.
Pero, okay,
porque
sí.
sabe malo.
Ok, pero si es la capa que ellos mojan,
No,
entonces.
ellos la asesinan.
Pero ¿cómo es que la tripa adentro?
Eso es porque esa tripa está húmeda.
También.
Húmeda.
Yeah, he says the filler is humid, and that's why you get that.
Y echa eso, así.
Yeah,
esa
and
vaina.
it's expanding.
Pero no, uno le hace así.
Just a little dab. Let it
On
dry.
in the end,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
As long as it's not all, if the mold is inside
sí, no.
the cigar in the filler, that's
You
where
would
they-
never know, gonna
you
know,
would
so
never
you're gonna
know.
smoke it nicely.
Yeah.
Si lo mete, daña. ¿Qué es lo que
What he's trying to say is that it's not going to hurt you.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
the cigar's fine. You could smoke it afterwards. It's fine. But you know, yeah, I've heard a lot of guys in the store. Oh, that's plume. That's great. This and
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And-
I've heard that too.
Yeah, and oh, that's a real aged cigar. But he says it's the humidity, which really makes sense. If you have your humidor over 70, you're going to create some water, and that's going to create this plume. And then plus, it's in the cellophane.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of people are leaving the cellophane. So imagine you're creating humidity in your humidor, and at the same time, it's in plastic, so it's getting wet. And you're creating the same effect. And then you're thinking, wow, this is a great cigar, it plumed. But no, man, the thing is your humidor is too high in
Now,
humidity.
if heat and humidity get too high, I want to say you get tobacco beetles. But my real question is, because I've seen tobacco beetles damage in cigars.
Yes.
My question is, if you freeze the cigar,
Yes.
does it kill the beetles and the larvae, or do larvae live in all the tobacco and you can't kill them, and when it gets hot and humid they're gonna spawn, or does freezing kill the larvae too?
Hablando de los insectos, que los tabacos tienen, los insectos que tienen, los huequitos, si frizarlo, mata también el insecto y los huevos, o la más mata el insecto y los huevos se quedan ahí, después cuando están en una temperatura caliente salen otra vez.
Los huevos pueden estar escondidos. Puede estar
Pero el frío
escondido.
no lo mata.
No nace. No nace. Si tienen frío así, no sale. Porque
sale.
ellos pican así nada más. Por el calor.
Pero los huevitos se explotan también.
Sí.
Sí. Yeah.
Sí.
Actually, we
Tú lo agarras, le haces así.
Yeah.
Y está muerto.
Yeah, actually, we freeze ours, and it's not a freezer
No,
like your house.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't create any
Moisture?
frost.
Yeah.
No frost or nothing. It's so dry. Our freezers they go down -1 degree. Yeah, this thing is solid. You know, they put you in
And
there,
that
you'll come out like a rock.
kills larvae and
Yes.
the tobacco beetles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had an issue with it because of that, and that's something that a lot of the tobacco guys are doing today. You know, trying to eliminate maybe the pesticides and stuff you know, on the tobacco, which makes it even much natural.
But now I could put this cigar in my humidor, and if another cigar has a tobacco beetle or larvae, right, they could jump.
Yeah. Dice que si nosotros, los tabacos nosotros, que están frisados,
Sí.
después, si lo meten en el humidor y este tabaco que está al lado está infectado, también se mete en el tabaco nosotros.
Sí, no, pero que ellos mueren.
Sí, no, pero
Por
si
ahí
es
sí.
de al lado, porque está comprando Cala, te compré un Cala, pero está comprando otra marca. Y esa otra marca no le hacen lo mismo, pero tiene el insecto. Entonces ese insecto puede salir también y comer el tabaco de nosotros, porque está vivo.
Si está frío no entra.
Sí, bueno, si está frío no entra.
Si está frío no entra.
Okay.
Se
he
queda
says
comiéndose el otro.
Yeah,
ahí mismo.
no, yeah. If it's cold, you know, you're keeping it what 70.
Yeah.
And what I do is I keep my humidor at 70. I let it drop a little bit below 70, and I keep my room cold. We keep the rooms cold. Even at home. You walk into, I have a humidor that carries like 5,000 cigars, and I keep that room cold, and I keep the humidity in, and no bugs, no nothing. Yeah. So he says, even if the guy next door, if it's cold, he's not going to come out anyways.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So it's about maintaining temperature.
Yes, temperature, and the room outside too as well.
Entran ahí.
Ahí no entran. No, he says the cold really discourages them.
Sigue comiendo donde ahí vive.
Oh, he'll stay eating that cigar that you have.
Oh, yeah. I've seen them. They're ravenous beasts. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you cut it and you suck on it, you
falls
get
out.
you get all that dust in your mouth.
Yeah.
But it's a natural process. I mean, it exists in the plant.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can't see those little eggs. They're there.
When does cigar drying out reach a point where it's going to change the flavor of the cigar and ruin the cigar experience? Like, how dry can a cigar get for how long?
Dry meaning if you leave it like a normal person leaving it outside?
Like out, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Not stored properly in low humidity. How long?
Yeah, because we dry ours in order to put it out in the market. You don't want it too soft.
Yeah, no, I mean dry.
But dry if you
the
just left it
moisture
outside.
starts going out of the cigar. Like, at what point does?
Okay.
Yeah, you could rehydrate it slowly over time to get
If
it
you're
back
in a
up to
tank for 2
70%.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, at what point does it get so dry that it
That it
ruins
gets stale.
the cigar? Yeah.
Okay. Dice que si deja el tabaco afuera, suponer, afuera en la casa y lo deja ahí, ¿qué tiempo más o menos puede durar un tabaco afuera del humidor? Okay, en tu casa.
Se puede romper la capa.
Sí, pero ¿qué tiempo más o menos se demora para que ese cigarro no sirva?
No, ahí no te sé decir ahí el tiempo, ¿no? Que puede durar.
No. ¿Y eso?
Eso había que probarlo.
Yeah, he says
hay algunos que se pueden romper temprano. O darse temprano.
He says there's really not a time. I mean, some of them could get ruined real quick.
Yeah.
Just leaving them outside. And others probably they'll last a little bit longer. So there is really no time. And the answer to that question is, guys, don't do that.
Don't do that.
I mean, it's not something you want to do, especially if you're buying cigars that are expensive cigars. And maybe the ones out there in the cafeterias and stuff. When I was a young man, we would go to the cafeteria and they'll be out there, and the guy will have them there, and they weren't in humidor. I mean, they were horrible. They were like $1. My friend's dad.
They're horrible to begin with.
Yes, yeah. My friend's dad, he would buy them. I mean, he's God bless him. He's like 87, and I send him my cigars. And it's his son, my good friend. He says, "Listen, a comment from my dad." And I says, "What is it?" He says, "They're too dry." I go, to tell your dad that they're shipped to Florida, so they have to come in dry. They're not stale, but they have to come in dry because there's so much humidity in Florida.
Yes.
I mean, Florida, you could leave it outside at night.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, and the next day, take it out, take it inside, and it'll be nice and soft. Mm-hmm. But don't leave it during the day because the sun will just eat it up and the whole day. But that's why we ship, and they're firm. They're not stale; they're just firm.
You guys have more questions along these lines?
No, you're doing awesome with all that.
I'm just curious, just the optimum time for the leaf, the tobacco leaf, to let it hang and dry. And I've heard a few different time frames, but what does
he think about it?
Yeah, just curious.
Tío, dice que cuando guindan el tabaco en la troja, ¿qué tiempo más o menos se deja ese tabaco en la troja guindando?
No, eso no es la troja, eso es para que se seque.
Sí, pero ¿qué tiempo
la troja
se deja? Bueno, el pilón no, el otro cuando lo guindan. ¿Qué tiempo?
Eso depende.
Depends on the stage.
Depende. Cuando según le va pasando el tiempo, en un mes puede secar ya. Entonces se quita y se pone así.
Y se pone en el pilón. Okay. He says it could probably take a month. It all depends. And then you let it dry, and then obviously you
Porque
put
tiene
it in
mucha miel. Y entonces cuando esté en la vaina hay que la pierde.
He says it has a lot of honey, or that silkiness that you see in the cigar, like yours, Joe. See how silky and beautiful it looks? Well, it lets out that he calls it honey. And that once you hang it, it's letting all this honey coming out. But then when you put it on and you let it ferment, that's the stage that you're taking all these impurities out. you know. But obviously, you're always going to have a little bit, and that's the beauty of them. You know, it's nice and silky. Some of them you smoke them and they're shiny and they're beautiful, but it's the heat that's coming through, that's hitting the wrapper, and this wrapper again is coming to life, and it's letting out all this nicotine or honey. You know what we say? Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was really all I had for questions. We covered quite a few. I'd like to now take a short break, come back. We're going to talk about some of the cigars we've been smoking in the market and what we thought of them. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.